The entire wrestling world stood still when CM Punk made his shocking return to WWE after 9 long years. But not everyone was happy. One man stood at the center of the storm: Seth Rollins. His rage was immediate, his reaction was visceral, and his words were unfiltered. From admiration to betrayal, from backstage tensions to public callouts, this is not just the wrestling rivalry, this is real, this is personal, and now it's all come to a head. Welcome to Bell to Bell Wrestling, your go-to source for the biggest rivalries, shocking betrayals, and also, let's not forget, in-depth wrestling analysis. And if you're passionate about wrestling, then hit that subscribe button because we break it all down every single week. Before we dive deep into this intense rivalry, be sure to hit that like button and drop a comment down below on who do you think has the upper hand in this war, Seth Rollins or CM Punk. Now, let's get into it. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, two of the best talkers on the mic, two of the best in-ring competitors, and two men who absolutely despise each other. What started as a mutual respect has transformed into a real-life animosity, bleeding into a compelling WWE storyline. With their paths crossing once again and WrestleMania looming, the question isn't if they'll collide, it's when. But to understand how we got here, we have to go back to where it all began. Seth Rollins' WWE career began under the shadow of CM Punk. As the inaugural NXT champion, Rollins had several interactions with Punk, even teaming up with him in matches. And when the Shield debuted in WWE, their first target was Ryback, an attack orchestrated to help CM Punk. Back then, Rollins admired Punk. He considered him an idol, someone to help open doors, but everything changed when Punk left WWE in 2014. Punk's departure from WWE was ugly. His contract was terminated on his wedding day. He was vocal about WWE's management, the creative frustrations, and how he felt about being sidelined in favor of part-timers like The Rock. One of the casualties of Punk's exit was his friendships. Rollins was reportedly among those left in the dark, feeling abandoned by someone he once looked up to. But it wasn't until 2019 that the tension really ignited. In 2019, CM Punk made a shocking return, not to WWE, but to Fox's WWE Backstage. This was during a time when WWE was struggling creatively, and Rollins, as one of WWE's top stars, was taking the brunt of the fans' backlash. Punk made it clear that no one was safe. He criticized WWE's creative direction and Rollins himself. Rollins, already dealing with fan negativity, took it personally. He called Punk out, challenging him to a fight, and Punk fired back. Mocking Rollins for being too online, the two exchanged public jabs, and for the first time, their real-life tension became undeniable. The tension hit a boiling point at Survivor Series 2023. When CM Punk returned, the world erupted, but Seth Rollins lost it. Fan footage caught him flipping Punk off, screaming, and having to be restrained by Corey Graves and Michael Cole. Becky Lynch later revealed that Rollins wasn't informed about Punk's return, which only added fuel to the fire. This wasn't just a storyline, this was real, raw emotion at its finest. With Rollins holding the World Heavyweight Championship, a WrestleMania showdown between the two seemed inevitable. But then, disaster struck. Punk suffered a tricep tear at the Royal Rumble, sidelining their much-anticipated WrestleMania 40 match. Instead, Rollins faced Drew McIntyre, losing the title before being cashed in on by Damian Priest. Meanwhile, Punk's injury led to one of 2024's top feuds, Punk versus McIntyre. The two built a personal gripping rivalry culminating at Bad Blood 2024, but even as that chapter closed, the world was still asking, what about Rollins and Punk? WWE hasn't let this rivalry die just yet. Rollins and Punk have exchanged words on multiple occasions, with tensions boiling over on the ramp. But the biggest twist? Punk aligning himself with Roman Reigns' bloodline at War Games, turning Rollins' two biggest enemies into allies. Their next major showdown happened on the debut episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, where Punk defeated Rollins, but things escalated even further at Royal Rumble 2025, when Punk eliminated both Rollins and Reigns, leading to one of the most brutal attacks Rollins has ever unleashed. With Elimination Chamber fast approaching at WrestleMania looming, there's no doubt that this war is far from over. With WrestleMania on the horizon, the pieces are falling into place. Will Rollins and Punk finally settle their war in the ring? Or will Roman Reigns' involvement turn this into an all-out three-way war? We'll be covering the latest developments on that, so make sure that you're subscribed for more deep dives into WWE's biggest rivalries. This is just the beginning.